I attended Japanese language school in Kyoto, and I ended up moving to a house that was pretty far from my school. I think it's about like 8 kilometer distance. So this is probably mid-commute. I had this idea of maybe doing it through the seasons, so I'll do this trip again. A lot of it goes through the Kamogawa, which is an amazing part of Kyoto. I love this river so much, and I'll take a lot of footage of it for sure, so you'll be seeing this more in the future. I would do this like pretty much every day. On average, I would say I cycled this maybe 3 to 4 times a week. I think that sounds about right. It was not always easy, especially in the winter. I started cycling it in November, and it was pretty cold. I would have to wake up really early. On a really good day, the commute could take me like 35 minutes, I would say, but on average it was more like 45 to 50 minutes. I did it so much, and it was such a kind of big part of my life. And when it was summertime, like around July to August, it was really, really hot. Right there on the left, there's like a staircase right now. I would go down there maybe every other morning, as often as I could basically, in the really hot days, and dip my feet in just for like 5 to 10 minutes and to cool down. When I first moved, my classmate was like, "How far do you live now? Are you gonna try to cycle to school every day?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5 miles." And he was like, 3, 4, 5 miles? That's a really big difference. And I was like, kind of like, yeah, whatever. But eventually I realized a daily commute that's 5 miles versus 3 miles is actually a really, really big difference. Because if you think about it, that means you're doing 4 extra miles every day. That's like 20 extra miles in a week. The difference between 3 and 5 miles is a lot. But I did it, and I loved this commute. I became really attached to it. The route to school was very beautiful, as you can see. Another time when I first moved, I was updating some friends about it, and they were looking at it on the map, and one of my friends said, "Mo, I think it's too far to bike this. It's also like uphill. You're gonna have to do it every day. It's gonna be early in the morning and it's cold." And I think because my friend said that, I was resolved to do it even more. So I did it, and it made me really happy. At first, it was like right on the edge of my capacity, like doing 10 miles / 16 kilometers every day, because that's the round trip. Eventually I found the best route. In the early days, I would kind of like change my route every time. I would go somewhere different. Through doing that, I kind of found the optimal route in terms of speed, convenience, quietness, stress levels. So I ended up finding the way I could go that would avoid crowds and busy traffic places. The other thing that made my life easier over time was I got used to it. Like, I'm sure I was not as physically fit before I started doing this commute, but after doing it like 4 times a week on average, I think I got a lot stronger. That was also really rewarding, I think, having to cycle 16 kilometers every day. On this road in the mornings, there would be some traffic folks and the people who guide the children to cross the streets, and they would always say "Ohayo gozaimasu," and I would say "Ohayo gozaimasu" back, and they would say "Itterashai." There was this one woman right on an intersection that's coming up. I'll point it out. She was right on that intersection where the white car just passed. A woman who I would always greet if I was early enough. And then further down on this road, there was this other traffic guy, and he would say "Ohayo" with like his gut, like it was coming deep from his core. It would be like "Ohayo," and that guy always made me smile. I really liked him. In the early days of getting used to this commute, I would leave my house at around 7:30, which was pretty early to make every day, and then having to cycle 8 kilometers. But eventually I realized I did not need to do that. I could leave at 7:45. So when I started leaving at 7:45, I did start kind of missing the traffic folks, they were kind of already done with their job then, which was a shame. But they will always be near and dear to my heart. I think of them whenever I'm on this route. And then I get to school. Over here, I have a quick conversation with my friend and talk about how my bicycle was 5,000 yen off of my friend. And then I get to the bicycle parking, which is lovely. I think I have a quick conversation with my friend about how it's getting colder. And then this is the bicycle parking of school, where there was a really, really sweet bicycle parking lady there. I don't think she was there on this day, but she was there like probably 4 times a week, if not more. What a sweet woman, oh my gosh. But yeah, so that's that.